Hello and welcome back. I've spent the last 4 or 5 hours or so taking the bush radio apart and giving it a general clean as best as I can, and because it was in a filthy state, taking all the dust off, try and get it looking a bit more shiny again. The speaker grill. If you remember, this was all dusty and dirty. There wasn't a scratch there, it's come out. So I've got bits of paint on and things. Generally got most of the dust out. It's a lot cleaner. Now the very heart of the whole machine, the circuitry. This was totally filthy. It probably hadn't been looked at since the day it had been put together. I remember from the previous videos, let's get the little sticks. You remember all around here it was all black. There's dust and grime clinging to everything. Probably never been looked at. So I took time with a lightly soaked brush with methylated spirits, bits of WD-40, took out all the dust best I can, the sticky oily stuff that was everywhere. Unfortunately the colour bandings have come off the resistors, probably due to the age and the heat. This component here is definitely broken. I can't get a reading through it across here, the test meter, but we know that the radio does work. On the other side we'll see that there's another one that's busted as well. So certainly a lot cleaner. Let's have a look on that other side there. This was just the same. This was completely dusty and dirty. Cleaned the bulbs, the wave switches. This is all black and oily. I've managed to get most of the grime out. If you're really deep into it, I suppose you could do a really deep clean and start desoldering these things and getting right in to clean the baseboard, but I'm not going to go that far. I've got it just nice there. So and the dials came up nice and clean too, along with the selector buttons, kind of yellowed with age. This front screen is a lot cleaner now. If you recall, I was telling you that the heaters cracked the paintwork and it's managed to stay relatively intact. When I cleaned it, I didn't go over this area too much at all. No heavy rubbing, just a light go over with a sponge and soapy water. We do a polish off with a tissue before we put it back in. And this piece here sits in front of the two little bulbs here that illuminate the screen. It's all nice, clean, a bit more cleaning there, get some of that deep dust off. Okay, so we're going to start putting it back together. Catch you in a moment. And so now we have the speaker grill cover put back on and the speaker is in place. The wire's ready to come up through the baseboard when it goes in. So we'll do the next part, which should be put the screen back on. Back onto the circuit board. Catch you in a moment. Here I've got the white screen back to the glass front on, and originally there was a piece of circular foam there, but it's disintegrated and lost somewhere. So this has been replaced with the tip of a cotton wool bud and a bit of Pritt stick. It will work quite well. It's just to balance the needle as it moves about on the scale. And now we have the screen and the dials fitted. And now we have the circuit board back in its box and ready to be tried again. And we're back and ready for a switch on. So have a look at that nice control panel for you there. Here it comes. I could probably just drift off to sleep listening to that.
The Drifters, and one of my favourite records of all time. I just think that is wonderful. And this magic moment. In the last remaining moments we have for the show, we're going to fit in as many of your requests as we possibly can.
It's excellent. We've got it revamped and a lot cleaner inside. Let's just pull that FM aerial off just for now. I'm going to kill the lights again. You can see these valves glowing. Maybe you can. Let's try. Maybe. Just zoom you in here. There's one or two there. The camera isn't doing it justice. If you were here, you'd be able to see those filaments glowing ever so softly. Let's get the lights back on for you. Yeah, if you go back on my other videos, recall when we tried the low wave. Sorry, not low wave, I keep saying low wave for some reason, it's long wave. It was very crackly, and since the cleanup that's changed. It's still a bit crackly, but I remember we were getting serious mains hum as we moved about, looking at this scale here. There's that mains hum and pulsing from before, but it's not as bad. It was more extreme, that pulsing before. BBC. So it's definitely a lot clearer than it was the first time. Electrical interference. But yeah, it's a lot better. Brilliant, so I'll put that on the kitchen windowsill or by the bed some nights for some entertainment. Well, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time for another radio restoration project.